Let's finish off Scratch Challenge number 3. And let's first of all look at where we are. I'm going to finish up the maze. You notice I go down. It tells me I finished in a time of 190.432. That is pretty slow. Here are the changes we want to make to the game. It brings up a splash screen at the end that says, "Congrats, you've finished." I would like it to bring up a screen at the end that says, "Congrats, you've finished. Press spacebar to play again." First, let's go do that. Let's go into our backdrops and let's change this backdrop. Let's add some text. We'll make it red because red is my favoriteest color. And we will write press spacebar to play again. Click out of that. We'll make it a little bit bigger. Move it down on the screen a little bit. There we have it. Now our backdrop is the way we want it. And you can see it shows up over here on our stage. Quick thing before we get too far, I'm going to change the title to Maze Race because that's what this challenge is called. I'm going to stop running the program for the current time. Now we have a couple of things that we need to do. I'm going to go back to my sprite and go back to my scripts and start looking at my code. One thing I need to do when I press the space bar, I don't necessarily want to do all of this. What I really want to do is I want to go into control and I want to create a new clone. Create a clone of myself. What this does is it creates a copy of the program. Then over here I have, when I start a new clone, do these things that you see in here. So now I can finish a race, have the time it took to finish the race, but not end my whole program, and then I can press the spacebar and play again, and when I play again it will fire off a new clone, and I can run through all this code again. One thing we're going to want to do, we're going to delete this clone once we find that color and switch the backdrop back to the end screen. Then this clone will go away. Also in here, I want to start keeping track of the scores. So I will need two variables for this. The first one, I'm going to go into data. First one, I need a variable to hold the current completion time. So I want this variable to hold how long did it take me to finish this race right now. And that's kind of a long variable name, but we're calling it current completion time. I'm also going to need a list, and we're going to call this best times. So best times. And this list is going to keep track of our best times. I don't necessarily want to display current completion time. I am going to want to display best times, but I only want to display best times after the end screen is, or right before the end screen is displayed. So I'm going to drag this show list of best times right over there, right after we switch the backdrop to the end screen. I'm going to show that list of best times. One other thing, I'm also going to want to hide that list right at the beginning of the game. And I'm going to want to hide it every time I hit the space bar. Okay, so that's going to take care of the best times list. Now all we really have left is getting our time for how long it took to complete and storing that time into our list of best times. Here's where we do that. Within this final if loop of if touching color is purple, we need to set our current completion time. Instead of setting it to 0, we're actually going to set it to the timer. And so our previous program said, wow, you finished in a time of, from our last one, I think it was 190, somewhere around there. Well, now we're going to store that time off into our current completion time variable. Then we are going to have this message say, while you finished in a time of, and it's still going to display how long it took us to finish the race, but we're keeping this in the current completion time variable so that we can use it here, and we're going to use it again. We are going to add that current completion time into our best times list. That's really all it takes here. I'm going to click the space bar to start playing this game. Hopefully it goes a little bit faster this time as I run through. But really all we had to do, we had to add a little bit of text to one of our backdrops. And we had to add a little bit of code to hide and display the list of best times. And then we had to store off the current completion time into a variable. And that's all that it took. You'll notice while I finished in a time of 29.13, it should bring me up to this splash screen that says while you finished, there's your best times. Let's press the space bar so we can run through this again. And this time I'm going to try to go even faster this time. And I will show you one small gotcha with our code here. But I'm not actually going to show you how to solve the problem in this video. I may at some other later point in time make a video for how to do this, but you will see it when the next screen shows up. It shows us our best times. Since we just did an add current completion time to best times, this list of best times doesn't have any ordering to it. So the next one that we add will just come into number 3, and it'll appear underneath these two. Whether it's faster or slower than either of those times, it's just going to add another one under the list. They are not ordered in any way. So if you want to figure out how to order them, that's actually a good thing to try to work on and try to figure out so that you can figure out and know how to do that. But maybe at a later time, I'll make a video for that. Right now, I'm not really going to worry about it. I'm just going to demonstrate how you use a list and put things into a list. That's all that we needed to do. This program appears to be done now. I hope you were able to get Maze Race done. If not, anyhow, here's the solution that I came up with. There are numerous other solutions that you can come up with to finish this and have some fun, be a little creative. Thanks for watching, and come back next week for another Scratch challenge.